My name is Tianming. I'm planning to end my life in front of my father's grave, because I know I won't survive past tonight. It's unclear from which generation it started, but the descendants of our Yi family. A strange black pattern has been growing on our chests, lasting for 10 years. The host continuously grows weaker until their vitality is completely exhausted, and they die in immense pain with no exceptions. Yi Tianming knelt before his father's grave, murmuring softly, "By tomorrow, it will have been exactly 10 years since the black marks appeared on me. Rather than turning into that miserable state before death, I'd rather end it myself. Father, it seems I, like you, have failed to overcome fate. Damn it, at least our ancestors got to hold their wives. But I haven't even touched a woman yet. Little Sigurd, I really wish I could sleep with you before I die." Suddenly, with a loud bang, my father's grave exploded. The tombstone flew right in front of my crotch. Damn. What's going on? As the smoke cleared, he saw a sister in black stockings lying on the ground, her body crackling with electricity. Could this be an immortal cultivator? Looming, you can't escape. A deafening voice echoed from outside. With a swift motion, the woman in black stockings instantly hid behind the tombstone. Under the full moon, a man hovers in the air riding his sword. You've been hit with joyous union powder. If you don't want the effects to make you explode, show yourself obediently. I'll take good care of you. The woman's body was filled with desire, yet she seemed to be restraining something. After shouting for a long time, the man thought she wasn't in this area. With a whoosh, he transformed into a streak of light and flew into the distance. The woman watched the man fly away and burst into laughter, sending chills down my spine. Suddenly, there was a sharp snap sound. The man sent, "Haha, it's over, I've been discovered." Just when I thought she was going to silence me, she actually pushed me down directly. She pounced on top of me, saying, "Don't be scared, little brother, let big sister teach you." Then she casually reached down toward my lower body. Just as I was starting to fantasize, an angry roar erupted. "Bastard!" A slap left my face bruised and swollen, unable to tell which way was which. Then she grabbed my hand again and pressed it against her proud chest. I realized something was wrong and quickly yelled, "Stop, stop!" As expected, she slapped me again, shouting, "How dare you take advantage of me?" At this moment, I'm in unbearable agony. Dad, just kill me now. But to my surprise, the sister in black stockings pinned me down and kissed me. 10 seconds later, as I lay quietly on the ground, a sudden thought struck me. I sprang up like a carp leaping out of water, exclaiming in disbelief, "Don't stop, sister. Oh, it was just a dream." After I woke up, I saw the black mark on my chest had disappeared. What's going on? How did the black mark on my chest vanish? Watching the girl I secretly admire about to be humiliated by the mounted marauder. How would you choose? At this moment, Yi Tianming wakes up from his dream. He discovered that the gecko mark, which had troubled him for many years, had disappeared. I even had a dream where I slept with the sister in black stockings. Just thinking about it makes me happy. As I approached the village, I heard a lot of noise coming from it. Standing on the cliff, I saw the mounted marauders had actually broken into the village, burning, killing, and looting. Watching the mounted marauder slashing the villagers one after another, I felt fear enveloping me. I carefully sneaked into the village, determined to save as many as I could. Hiding behind a large tree, I saw the entire village fall into chaos. Just as I was at a loss for what to do, I heard a familiar agonizing scream. "Let me go!" Peered out. I saw the girl I secretly admired, little Sigurd, being seized by the mounted marauder. Watching the mounted marauder sneer viciously at little Sigurd. These bastards. I see them about to humiliate little Sigurd, and I can't hold back anymore. I'm ready to rush out and end these scoundrels' lives with one strike. But then I reconsidered. But charging out now would be a death sentence. I need to cherish this life I barely managed to save. Slipping away quietly is the best move. Just as I turned to leave, the mounted marauder flung little Sigurd to the ground without hesitation. He said while taking off his shirt, "I'm going to take good care of you." Little Sigurd screamed in terror, "Please don't." Hearing that desperate scream, I couldn't hold back any longer. I lunged through the air, thrusting toward that guy. Unexpectedly, that guy casually blocked my lethal strike. He then threw me aside. Enduring the pain all over my body, I shouted at little Sigurd, "Run, don't just stand there." But little Sigurd screamed in terror, "Yi Tianming, watch out behind you." With a soft thud, a sharp sword pierced through my chest. I endured the excruciating pain as I watched the mounted marauder pull the sword from my chest. At that moment, it felt as if all the strength had been drained from my body, leaving me powerless as I collapsed straight to the ground. Little Sigurd was once again pinned down by the mounted marauder, who tore off her clothes. I could only watch helplessly, unable to do anything. Just as my vision blurred and I was about to die, a heart-wrenching scream from Little Sigurd echoed in my ears. Yidanming, save me. A mysterious and ancient voice awakened me. Son of Yi family, I've been waiting for you for a long time. I see my soul floating in midair. Where is this? Before me stands a massive, unfamiliar yet strangely familiar stone gate. Just as I'm marveling at the black patterns on the gate that match my own. The stone gate rumbled open, and at that moment my soul returned to my body. I opened my crimson eyes. At that moment the dark patterns on my chest emerged, emitting dazzling bursts of light. I feel a surge of power coursing through my entire body. Mounted marauders, prepare to meet your doom. My name is Yidanming. Just now my crush Little Sigurd was being humiliated by the mounted marauder. I died trying to save him, stabbed by the mounted marauder's sword. Just when I thought I was about to kick the bucket, I actually activated my ancestral cheat code. With the cheat code in hand, my personality drastically changed, and I wore a wicked grin. Mounted marauder still doesn't know I've fully revived and continues to insult Little Sigurd. In a flash, I swiftly drew my weapon. I pressed down on the mounted marauder's head. The next second, his head was separated from his body. Yet, I was wearing an expression of pure enjoyment. However, at that moment, I was running wild in an alternate dimension, completely unaware of everything happening outside. Inside that stone gate in the alternate dimension was a black long, its body bound by chains. I've never seen such a spectacle in all my life. Scared, I ran and shouted, "Don't take my soul, I don't want to die yet." Black Long saw me running away in fear and quickly said, "I am Long, not some netherworld envoy here to claim souls. Besides, you're not even dead." Hearing that left me stunned. Black Long leaned his massive head close to me and said, "For me, you are a once-in-a-century opportunity. How could I possibly let you die so easily?" At that moment, the mounted marauders outside snapped back to reality, and a group of them charged at me with weapons drawn. With a light leap, I soared into the sky. Looking down at the mounted marauders, I felt incredibly excited. Now, with divine assistance, I perform a crow flies on an airplane. With just a few punches and kicks, I swiftly defeated the group of mounted marauders, leaving them in disarray. Seeing the situation, all the mounted marauders charged at me. But with my cheat activated, I took them down using just the opening move, and began to slaughter freely. As if passing through an unguarded realm, I effortlessly took down all the mounted marauders. Only the one who stabbed me remained. Little Sigurd, watching this scene, was so terrified that he sat frozen on the ground. And that guy, seeing the situation turning against him, actually took Little Sigurd hostage to threaten me. "Kid, if you want to save this woman, you have to let me go." But he forgot, the current me is no longer someone he can afford to offend. With a swift slash, I severed the entire hand of the mounted marauder that held the blade. The agonizing pain made the mounted marauder scream in utter torment. I didn't give him any chance to react. I instantly crushed the mounted marauder's head with one hand. Watching the blood in my hand, I fell into a frenzy. Before Little Sigurd could react, I passed out cold. At that moment, in the alternate space, Black Long unexpectedly began to question my soul. "Do you desire to have many dual cultivation partners?" This question has left my seemingly proper self at a loss for words. I angrily refused to answer. I don't want to respond to such a vulgar question. With a rumbling sound, Black Long was speechless. "Is this the limit already? Kid, time is running out. Remember everything I'm about to say, kid. The black mark on your chest is a powerful curse cast by an immortal cultivator upon your Yi family for generations." Then Black Long extended its massive claw and pointed at my forehead. "Listen, kid, I bestow upon you my final power. If you don't want to die, make good use of this strength. Step into the immortal cultivation world as soon as possible, grow stronger continuously, and have more women. Dual cultivation death countdown. Complete dual cultivation within 60 days. Staring at the screen that suddenly appeared before me, I froze. Yidanming. Stage Chi refining first layer. Techniques arts skills none. Status cursed. Just yesterday, I single-handedly defeated all the mounted marauders using the power of Black Long. Then I fell into a coma. When I woke up again, I found that Little Sigurd had left a letter saying he was afraid of the mounted marauders' retaliation. She couldn't persuade the villagers to take me along, told me to live well, and then ran off with the remaining villagers herself. A crow's call caught my attention. I pushed open the door and saw corpses scattered all over the ground. Did I kill all of these? Suddenly, a ding sound rang out as the system abruptly presented a newbie task. Kill the blood wolf. I was completely baffled, still trying to figure out what was going on. Then, a howl of wolves echoed from above. The blood from the corpses on the ground attracted the blood wolves in the forest. I was so scared that cold sweat poured down my face. Is this the legendary blood wolf? Before I could react, blood wolf charged straight at me. A loud boom shook the entire ground. A sturdy wolf leg was just 1 centimeter away from my vital parts. My face turned purple with fear. What the heck is going on? Let me kill the blood wolf at the chi refining 2 layer. I took off running, cursing my parents for not giving me an extra pair of legs as I fled in panic. The system reminded me to complete the task as soon as possible. Blood wolf is in an abnormal state, overeating, with a significant drop in speed. There's still 1 minute left until the status is lifted. I thought to myself, isn't this perfect? Now's the time to shake it off quickly. I was just feeling pleased when I turned around and thought, System, are you trying to get me killed? Is this the blood wolf in an abnormal state? This is more like sprinting at full speed. With a mighty roar, the blood wolf lunged again as I dodged with nimble footwork. I narrowly dodged the attack just like that. We, a human and a wolf, chased each other through the forest. The system also warned that blood wolf would exit its state in just 15 seconds. Seeing the situation turn dire, I knew continuing to hide would mean certain death. I pulled out my dagger knowing I had to take the risk. With time running out, the 10-second countdown began. With a sharp gaze, I charged forward without hesitation. Even if I couldn't take it down, I had to cripple its ability to chase me. With 5 seconds to spare, I used a vine to swing myself up into the tree. Blood wolf glared up at me from under the tree, roaring in fury. 2 seconds left. I let go of the vine. With a swift flip, I drove the dagger deep into blood wolf's eye. Success! Who would have thought that blood wolf, in agony? He charged recklessly through the forest with me. Damn, no honor in fighting. Has this beast lost its mind from the pain? It actually ran to the edge of a cliff. My desperate cries echoed through the sky. Stop, please! Then came a sharp ding sound. System prompt. Task completed. All injuries have been restored and the item slot has been unlocked. In the sunlit woods there was a sudden bang sound. A red claw appeared out of thin air. A woman holding a scepter rode a large spider, walking toward me. System prompt. Continuous quest join Azure Cloud Sect has been generated. My name is Tianming. Once again, I found myself pinned beneath a pink-haired twin-tailed girl in this all-too-familiar position. In my hand I was still clutching something soft. Just moments ago, I had completed the ridiculous task the system assigned me, to kill a level 2 blood wolf. At that moment I lay sprawled awkwardly on the blood wolf's corpse, gasping for breath. Suddenly the system prompts Yaoguai core. I obtained the blood wolf's Yaoguai core based on the prompt. While I was marveling at how large the Yaoguai core was, a giant spider suddenly appeared. This scared me so much that I threw the Yaoguai core 3 feet high. But unexpectedly, it was snatched away by the long-legged sister on the spider's back. The girl said, "Don't worry, my spider is very well behaved and won't hurt you." Then she said she was the Azure Cloud Sect's master of the herbal pavilion, Lingmeng, and continued, "Little brother, I'll give you a chance. Hand over this Yaoguai core and I'll let you work under me. How about it?" Damn, what kind of twisted logic is that? She steals my stuff and then expects me to work for her? She must be living in a dream. I angrily demanded that she return the Yaoguai core to me. Unexpectedly, Ling Meng's face darkened upon hearing this, and she immediately swung her staff. A loud bang echoed as a massive crater instantly appeared on the ground. Ling Meng asked me with a smile, "I didn't catch that just now, could you please say it again?" I looked at the system prompt. Ling Meng is more than 2 stages higher than me. A wise man knows when to yield. I immediately flattered. "What I mean is, you must take this Yaoguai core." Ding, system prompt. Discovered a dual cultivation quest. Favorability exceeds 90%. High probability of directly initiating dual cultivation. Watching the long-legged sister cheerfully command the little spider to set off, it's driving me crazy. What kind of strategy is this? I'm probably going to get blasted to bits. What's even more frustrating is that she actually told me I'm not qualified to be an Azure Cloud Sect disciple, and can only work as a menial laborer. How can such icy words come out of your 37 degrees Celsius mouth? No way, I'm not doing menial work. I want to go down. Ling Meng waved his hand grandly. Trying to run now? Too late, little piggy, speed up. The system prompted once again. The task to join the Azure Cloud Sect was forcibly completed. Following that, majestic and mist-shrouded immortal mountains began to appear one after another. With a whoosh, an immense shadow descended from the sky. It directly sent the gatekeeping disciple flying. Holding onto Lingmeng's thigh, I felt dizzy and just wanted to vomit. I never expected Lingmeng to kick me down with one swift move. I ended up with a bruised and swollen face from the fall. She told me to report to the herbal pavilion on my own. I could only follow the directions of the gatekeeping disciple and head toward the herbal pavilion. Just as I reached the foot of the mountain, a rustling sound began to accompany my steps. A figure emerged from the rustling grass. I stepped forward, hoping to find out if this person was from the herbal pavilion. Unexpectedly, I frightened the girl who shouted, "Who's there?" The next scene made me wish I could dig a hole right there and disappear. The woman was actually peeing. The woman yelled at me, "I've long heard there's a pervert around herbal pavilion, and it turns out it's you." So angry that she didn't even pull up her pink panties, she charged at me. I looked at the system prompt. The woman is at the chi refining 8th layer stage. I knew it didn't make sense, so I had no choice but to turn and run. With a soft pft, the system notified me that I had been hit by a tranquilizer dart. The woman knocked me to the ground with a powerful slap. "I'll beat you up, you pervert." "Miss, it's a misunderstanding." The woman in front of me wouldn't listen at all. Just as I was struggling in panic, "Huh? Why is it so soft?" My hand ended up squeezing the big white bunny on the beauty's chest. "It's over, I'm really done for now." The title of pervert is truly confirmed. As soon as I stepped into the herbal pavilion, I was mistaken for a pervert and got beaten up. If it weren't for the fact that the herbal pavilion hasn't had a man in 200 years, who would bother doing chores here? You're all my candidates for dual cultivation. Just because I defended myself a bit too much and squeezed the pink-haired girl's big white rabbit, she pinned me to the ground. She flew into a rage out of humiliation and unleashed the 18 dragon-subduing palms on me. Suddenly, with a loud boom, an explosion occurred over at the herbal pavilion. I was dragged by the pink-haired one to the herbal pavilion. Inside the herbal pavilion, several women with disheveled clothes rushed out. It turned out that the Dan furnace had exploded. The women turned around and asked the pink-haired girl who I was. The pink-haired girl said, "He's the peeping pervert." Hearing this, the women rolled up their sleeves, ready to beat me to death on the spot. Killing him would be too easy. Just toss him into the Dan refining furnace and refine him. Scared out of my wits, I quickly explained that I was just a handyman recently tricked by the master of herbal pavilion, Ling Meng. The ladies didn't believe a word. The herbal pavilion hadn't taken in a man for 200 years, and here I was, daring to misuse the pavilion master's name. However, despite all the talk, Pink Hair didn't actually kill me. Instead, she locked me in a confinement room, waiting for the pavilion master to return and decide my fate. Dual cultivation death countdown 30 days. I begged pavilion master Lingmeng to practice dual cultivation with me. Lingmeng immediately grabbed a stick, ready to blast me into dust. Dual cultivation time remaining 10 days. I begged the pink-haired one to accompany me just once. The pink-haired one chased after me, threatening to castrate me with scissors. Countdown. Only 1 day left. I begged them desperately to practice dual cultivation with me. Unfortunately, in the end, no one paid any attention to me, and I was completely swallowed by the dark patterns. Phew, it was just a dream, thank goodness. Looking at the system prompt showing 59 days left. Sigh. Even though it was a dream, it wasn't entirely a dream. The system kindly reminded me to find someone with a similar cultivation level for dual cultivation, just in case. Thanks a lot. Suddenly, I remembered there might be some newbie rewards, right? Black Long Mixed Origin Heart Sutra, Chi Refining Chapter. Still a heaven tier technique, huh? Looks pretty impressive. As soon as I lightly touched the book slot, the Heart Sutra materialized right into my hand. I opened it and saw, Chi Refining 2 layers can be cultivated. At that moment I was petrified. I'm just a waste at Chi Refining 1 layer. Damn it, what a scam. I threw the Heart Sutra right out. What kind of lousy system is this? Messing with me, huh? Now I'm in real trouble. Only 59 days left until the curse activates, and I don't have a single way to boost my strength. No idea how long I'll be stuck here either. Ding, system notification. Introduction to Dan Pill Knowledge. After reading, acquire basic Dan refining skill. Alas, Dan refining is such a great thing. I suddenly realized that the lady in black stockings was under the influence of some kind of drug, which led to our intimate encounter. If there's something like a Dan pill inside, then I might just be saved. Then the system prompted me to find the right direction to put in effort, and directly activated the automatic book reading function for me. Ha ha ha, it seems I'm about to turn the tables against all odds. My name is Yi Tianming, and the countdown to death in dual cultivation is 59 days. In order to survive, I began learning how to refine joyous union powder. The system prompts me to sit cross-legged and cultivate. Having a cheat is so convenient, everything just speeds along. The knowledge just pops into my head. Congratulations, host, on acquiring the skill Novice Dan Refining. Soon the notifications came. Dan Refining skill +1 again. The system continuously prompted the skill leveling up. Time flew by and 10 days later, that woman Ling Meng has finally returned. Before Ling Meng could even step through the door, she was ambushed by the pink-haired girl, who buried her face right into Ling Meng's chest. "Ing Han, what's going on?" Ling Meng asked. The pink-haired girl nuzzled closer and replied, "Pavilion Master, you're finally back. You have no idea how heavy the tasks you assigned us this time were. We've already blown up 3 Dan furnaces. Not only that, but we also caught a flower thief." Ling Meng immediately sensed trouble and hurried toward the detention room. "Where is he?" She couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. In the darkness, a large hand reached out to grab them. I rasped, "I'm starving." That person was me, now so emaciated from hunger I was barely recognizable. "Sisters, don't just stand there watching. Give me something to eat," Ling Meng said apologetically. "Long time no see, little Ming." Seeing Pavilion Master, I feel as if I've met a dear relative. "Pavilion Master, I've missed you so much." Ling Meng looked at Tianming's pitiful state and said, "Come on, have a fasting pill first." "Whoa, Pavilion Master, you're such a great person. I'll talk while I eat." Ling Meng wiped his sweat and said, "I always feel a bit sorry for you." Then he continued, arranging for Tianming to stay at the Dan house. Upon hearing this, Chiu Inghan immediately objected. "Pavilion Master, that won't do. The Dan house is exclusively for women. As a man, his presence there might cause many inconveniences. The herbal garden is short-staffed." As soon as these words were spoken, they aligned perfectly with my intentions. I immediately said, "Pavilion Master Steward Chiu makes a valid point. This disciple is willing to go to the herbal garden. Coincidentally, the system just rewarded me with basic herb identification skills so I can take the opportunity to recognize some herbs. Hehe, herbal garden, here I come." Ding! The system detects that the host is unable to complete the first step of the dual cultivation mission on their own. If this continues, failure is almost certain. A special mission is hereby issued. Refine the beginner-level Joyous Union powder. Hidden mission. A piece of fat meat already in the mouth. What the heck, even you system look down on me now. But what's this fat meat already in the mouth? Can't it be some lean meat instead? Then Chiu Inghan took me to the herbal garden to get familiar with the surroundings. As soon as I arrived at the herbal garden, I casually grabbed one. The system automatically identified the quality of the 3 green herbs as ordinary. This thing can even identify quality? I quickly rushed deeper into the herbal garden. Chiu Inghan asked in confusion, "Where are you going?" I looked at the herb before me. 3 green herbs, supreme grade. Refining success rate +50%, medicinal effect +50%. Damn, I've struck gold. Over there, Chiu Inghan noticed I was ignoring her. Ugh, her temper flared up in an instant. "Listen to what people are saying, you fool." She didn't forget to give me a sharp blow on the head either. Then, like a resentful wife, she dragged me straight towards a house. "This is where you'll be living from now on. Work hard and don't cause any trouble." After saying that, she didn't forget to put me in my place. With a single one-finger flick, she instantly turned the rare medicinal herb in my hand into a handful of ashes. My precious celestial herb. Just as I was lost in sorrow, Chiu Inghan waved his hand and left directly, making me grind my teeth in anger. "Damn Chiu Inghan, just wait until I perfect my Joyous Union powder. You'll be the first one I test it on." Digging a tunnel and accidentally breaking into the women's bathhouse. What's that experience like? My name is Yi Tianming. Just now, in order to survive, I came up with an idea, digging a tunnel to the Dan refining house to refine Dan pills. Unexpectedly, I didn't get the location right and ended up digging into the women's bathhouse. I poked my head out. I looked at the scene before me that made my blood boil with excitement. It's truly a feast for the eyes when suddenly, the young ladies, as if possessed by a sixth sense, felt as if someone was peeking and shouted, "Who's there?" Luckily, I hid underground in time. Thinking back on the scene just now, it was truly breathtaking, stirring my heart with excitement. Before long, I finally dug my way to the Dan refining house. I quickly opened my inventory and materialized it. Taking out the medicinal herbs, I was a bit overwhelmed by the dazzling array of Dan prescriptions. After some thought, I decided to start refining what I needed most first. It's you I'm choosing. Taoist Treasure Dan and Joyous Union Powder, please don't let me down. To survive, I'm giving it my all. I embarked on the long journey of Dan refining. Damn, this Dan refining is no job for humans. It's even more exhausting than hunting wolves. Finally, it's done. I'm staring at the Dan refining furnace system in front of me. Please don't screw me over. I slowly opened it, and a burst of golden light surged out. It's done. 20 Taoist Treasure Dan have been stored in the system, all with 50 times the medicinal potency. Quickly took one out. Here goes 50 times the medicinal potency. As soon as I swallowed it, a surge of energy swept through my entire body. The medicinal effects spread all over, accompanied by a ding sound, breaking through to the Qi refining 2-layer. Next, the system kept reminding me of my stage advancement. This feeling is truly exhilarating. Qi refining 3-layer, 4-layer, 6-layer, 7-layer, and it didn't stop until 8-layer. I felt the power surging through my body. It was incredible. Next, I just need to make good use of this system to improve my stage. I can survive to break the Yi family's curse and reach the peak. The system now informs me that upon reaching the Qi refining 8th layer, divine consciousness is unlocked at the first level, allowing the external release of spiritual power to survey the surroundings within 50 meters. It seems a bit underwhelming, but at least it's a reward. Then I'll give it a try and test its effects. Divine consciousness unleashed. Instantly, everything within 50 meters around me appeared in my mind, surprisingly able to bypass obstacles and conduct a full-range scan. Suddenly, a figure emerged and I opened my eyes. I exclaimed in surprise, "There's someone nearby." The night was utterly silent. In the darkness, a man and a woman were conversing. Is the plan progressing smoothly? Look at what senior brother is saying. How could anything brought out by master possibly go wrong? Yesterday, Dan House ruined another 4 furnaces of foundation establishment pills. Upon hearing this, the man immediately turned around and pinned the blonde senior sister against the wall. His hands began to wander over the blonde senior sister's body, and he said with a lecherous tone, "Well done, here's your reward." The blonde senior sister replied with a look of enjoyment, "Oh, you're so naughty. Once Ling Ming falls from power, you mustn't forget about me, okay?" The lecherous man, upon hearing this, pinched her buttocks and smirked, saying, "Don't worry, once it's done you won't be left out." Just as this pair of scoundrels were lost in their intimate moment, with a swift rustle, Cho Ing-han leaped down from the tree. "You ungrateful traitor! How dare you collude with outsiders to harm the pavilion master?" Seeing the scheme exposed, the despicable man decided to go all the way. He instantly dashed forward and struck Cho Ing-han with a single blow. A mere Qi refining stage dares to act recklessly in front of me, a foundation establishment stage cultivator? The sleazy man grabbed Cho Ing-han's wrist and said. Before Cho Ing-han could react, he punched her and sent her flying. I witnessed all of this from inside the room. They really know how to have fun. I saw the creepy guy carrying Cho Ing-han into the room. He was about to do unspeakable things to Cho Ing-han. I hid behind the Dan furnace, not daring to make a sound. What's going on? Why is everyone crowding around me? Cho Ing-han saw through the scheme of the treacherous couple. Unexpectedly, she was overpowered and captured to be used as a cultivation vessel. Seeing her about to fall into the tiger's den, what would you do? Arriving at the Dan refining house, the sleazy man then threw Cho Ing-han heavily onto the ground. He looked at the severely injured and unconscious Cho Ing-han before him. The blonde guy didn't forget to congratulate the sleazy man. This Cho Ing-han possesses a water spiritual root body, and is also the designated Tao companion candidate for the 3rd disciple of Cloud Sovereign Pavilion. The sleazy man, upon hearing this, couldn't wait to tear off his own clothes and pin Cho Ing-han down beneath him. He reminded the blonde guy, "Go keep watch at the door, I'm going to drain her dry." With that, the lecherous man greedily inhaled the scent emanating from Cho Ing-han, a lewd grin spreading across his face. "So fragrant," he murmured. "Is this the natural aroma of the innate furnace body?" He then tore open Cho Ing-han's outer garment, revealing a red undergarment beneath. I've long heard that the natural fragrance of the furnace body can accelerate a man's blood and energy flow, but I never expected it to be so intense that it would even obstruct my heart meridian, he muttered. Then, clutching his head in agony, the lecherous man felt as if his skull were splitting apart. Something feels off. He groaned, confusion and pain clouding his mind. Then, A series of sobbing sounds could be heard. The lecherous man endured the pain and turned his head to look, asking, "Who are you?" I calmly rose from the Dan furnace, saying, "Feng Yun, senior brother, Foundation Establishment, second layer." Upon our first meeting, a small dose of soul-clearing powder is but a humble token of my respect. This soul-clearing powder has the effects of clearing the mind, nourishing the soul, and tempering one's character. However, if one uses it with a distracted mind, it may easily cause the meridians to flow in reverse. The sleazy man looked shocked, thinking to himself, "This guy is a master." He actually saw through my stage at a glance. I looked at Feng Yun, who I had easily fooled, and continued pretending to be a master. But at that moment the yellow-haired guy beside me broke free from the gag and shouted, "Senior brother, don't be fooled by this kid. His name is Yi Tianming. He's just a chi-refining one-layer servant that Ling Ming picked up." Damn it! I finally get a chance to show off. Couldn't you have waited until I was done? Hearing that he had been tricked, Feng Yun flew into a rage and roared, "I'm going to tear you into 1,000 pieces." He immediately unleashed a frenzied assault on me. Fortunately, my strength had greatly increased by then, and I skillfully dodged the lethal attacks with agile movements. But I still ended up covered in wounds. So strong is this the power of the Foundation Establishment stage? I looked at the system's cheat that was activated for me. My defense, speed, and strength had all increased by 50%. "You're not worthy yet. Now it's my turn." I threw a punch with all my might. The immense force sent Feng Yun flying 10 meters away. A whirlpool formed on the wall. Feng Yun clutched his stomach and uttered his final words. "You're not even at the chi-refining first layer," he said before passing away. While I was marveling at the power the system had granted me, which far exceeded my imagination, the system beeped, reminding me that the easy victory I thought was within reach was only 50% complete, and the targets hostile towards me hadn't been fully eliminated. My expression tightened as I cast a sharp glance toward the yellow-haired figure. Could it be that the system is demanding I eliminate her as well? With such a system reward in place, it actually delivers beauties right to your doorstep. Aren't you envious of such a reward? Right after I punched the creep to death, the system notified me that the task wasn't completed yet. This means I have to kill the blonde guy as well. With a grim expression, I walked towards the blonde guy. Seeing the situation turn unfavorable, she immediately flattered, "Brother Yi, I can be at your disposal." The blonde guy saw that I remained unmoved and even raised my hand. She immediately teared up and said, "I have served the senior brothers before. I have plenty of experience and promise to satisfy you." Hearing that, I thought it sounded great, so I said, "Let's start right now." I took out a bottle from my pocket and went over to have her take it. The blonde looked down and saw it was actually Joyous Union powder. She couldn't help but sneer inwardly. "Ha, just a creature driven by base desires. Wait and see. I'll take your miserable life later." Then she drank it without hesitation. Then she started taking off her clothes while walking towards me. Her left hand kept drawing circles on my chest, and with a shy expression she said, "Brother Yi, you're really wild. I like you just the way you are, be gentle with me." Then she suddenly revealed her true nature, pulling out a dagger with her right hand and lunging at me with fierce determination. The punk thought he was about to succeed. With a swift kick, I struck her squarely in the abdomen. The punk spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. She trembled as she looked at me. "How did you find out?" The blonde had no idea that I had long known her true nature. How could I not be prepared? Did she really think a mere seduction would make me let my guard down? What a pipe dream. Then I wiped the uncooperative nosebleed and said, "Enough talk. I've already given you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Even if I don't lift a finger now, you're doomed." The blonde's face turned pale with shock. "What do you mean?" I told him. Legend Quality's Joyous Union powder isn't something to be taken lightly. If you don't release its effects in time, you will surely die from overwhelming desire. By now, the blonde was already under the effect of the drug, consumed by unbearable thirst all over. "You're so vicious. Enough nonsense. You're taking my life, you've brought this upon yourself." "Wait, Brother Yi, I surrender. Please save me, I beg you, save me. I have no pity for such a woman, only leaving her with a handsome silhouette. The moonlight is quite lovely tonight. Phew, finally everything's taken care of. Hehe, let's quickly check if the mission is complete. The long-awaited reward is finally here. Let me see where it is." The system prompt says the reward is right beside me. Holy crap. No way, it can't be this guy Choing Han, right? But this woman's figure is truly impeccable. Although I have a grudge against her, It seems not entirely impossible. Damn it, I'll do whatever it takes to survive. If there was a stunningly beautiful woman lying unconscious beneath you, switching to you, what would you do? The scene shifts to the Azure Cloud Sex Sword Pavilion, where a man is seen anxiously pacing in the corridor. He stopped in front of a room, hearing faint, painful sounds from a woman inside, as a large hand emitting purple mist was gripping her neck. This person was none other than the vice sect master of the Azure Cloud sect, Tang Yuan. At this moment, he was using the woman beneath him as a cauldron for dual cultivation. Suddenly, the door creaked open. It was the man from earlier who entered. Master, there's a problem at the herbal pavilion. Tang Yuan's eyes sharpened, his tone impatient. Can't you see I'm in the middle of important matters? The person kneeling on the ground was Zhang Xubua, the pavilion master of Cloud Sword Pavilion. At that moment, Zhang Xubua was reporting, Junior brother Feng Yun's soul jade has shattered. I'm afraid Ling Meng has disrupted our plan, which is why I lost my composure here. Tang Yuan flew into a rage upon hearing this, instantly channeling energy into his arm. He absorbed the woman's spiritual power, completely ignoring her cries. Tang Yuan put on his clothes and said, Impossible. Given Ling Meng's temperament, she would definitely leave survivors to cause trouble for me. Picking up the shattered soul jade, he continued, It seems that other forces have infiltrated the herbal pavilion, but they are nothing to fear. Then he asked Zhang Xubua to help arrange a meeting with the sect master. After Zhang Xubua finished speaking, the disciple acknowledged the order and vanished instantly. Tang Yuan looked at the soul jade, which reflected his own sinister smile. Interesting, who's behind this? With a thud, the drained woman looked at Tang Yuan. I actually forgot about you, my apologies. Tang Yuan, holding the soul jade, raised a delicate orchid-shaped finger. With a sudden puff, the woman was dead beyond any doubt. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed, and I was now inside the herbal garden. I sat cross-legged in meditation, with ethereal shadows of black longs swirling around me. Ding! I opened my crimson eyes, and the system notified me that the Black Long Mixed Origin Technique Qi Refining chapter was complete. Ding! Unlocked skill. Long Transmutation Scripture. Ha ha ha, I've finally mastered it. This Long Transmutation Scripture, I love it. I look at the system prompt. Level 1 Long Transmutation Scripture allows borrowing a small amount of Black Long's power, enhancing both defense and physique, with improvements changing as the level increases. I'm overjoyed looking at this domineering Long Transmutation Scripture. However, my happiness lasts less than 3 seconds before the system pours cold water on me. Dual Cultivation Death Countdown. 7 days and 8 hours remaining. How is it down to just 7 days already? Turns out that half a month ago. I looked down at Xiao Inghan beneath me, my heart filled with dread. Just as my trembling hands were about to reach for Xiao Inghan's 2 plump rabbits, I chose the most disappointing approach for the audience. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. My 9 years of compulsory education wouldn't allow me to take advantage of someone in a vulnerable position. I'd better treat her injuries first. I took out a bottle of potion. Just as I was about to feed Xiao Inghan the potion, she unexpectedly let out a soft moan, startling me so much that my hand trembled and spilled it all over her. Xiao Inghan had swallowed a bit of the potion, and I noticed she was about to wake up. I quickly decided to make a run for it. At that moment, the system prompted. Xiao Inghan's favorability increased by 20%, and 1 additional character is available for dual cultivation. Wait, was I discovered back then? Otherwise, why would the favorability increase? While I was still pondering about this favorability, a sudden sound came from outside the door. It turned out to be Xiao Inghan. Damn it, just when I feared it the most, it happened. I kindly saved Xiao Inghan, and to repay me, she almost crushed me to death. Just as I was wondering if Xiao Inghan had found out that I was the one who saved her. The next second, Xiao Inghan showed up at my door. As soon as she entered the room, she sat down without hesitation. I quickly offered her a cup of hot tea and said, What brings you here, Steward Xiao? Yet, Xiao Inghan remained silent, just staring at me intently. Feeling guilty, I could only awkwardly change the subject and ask, Steward Xiao, why are you staring at me? Is it because I'm too handsome? It's making me a bit embarrassed. She looked at Yi Tianming. Xiao Inghan couldn't help but recall the blurry figure she saw when she first opened her eyes, the one who had saved her, and it bore a striking resemblance to the person before her now. She spoke up directly and asked, Yi Tianming, have you trespassed into the herbal pavilion without permission? As soon as I heard that, I thought, oh no, they're really suspecting me. If this gets exposed, with my current strength, I'm definitely going to face some serious trouble. And I'm running out of time. I need to complete the dual cultivation. Damn it. At that thought, how could I dare to admit it? I quickly spoke up to explain. Haha, Steward Cho, you must be joking. The herbal pavilion is surrounded by restrictions. How would I dare to go near it? Cho Ing-han thought it over and found it reasonable. How could the person who saved her be this chi-refining one-layer guy? But then again, what if they were hiding their cultivation level? So she decided to test me. I could tell from Cho Ing-han's expression that she hadn't completely let go of her doubts. If she was smart enough, she would definitely test me. The next moment I heard her shout, "Sorry about this," as she charged straight at me. However, she accidentally stepped on the stone slab I had used to cover the tunnel. Cho Ing-han lost her balance and fell with a loud thud. She directly knocked me to the ground. Staring at the two enormous white rabbits in front of me, I thought, damn, shoddy construction is going to be the death of me. Then Cho Ing-han's face flushed crimson, and the entire herbal garden echoed with her furious shouts. Yitanming, I'm going to kill you. The next second, the herbal garden was filled with the male lead's continuous screams. Cho Ing-han brought me, bruised and battered, to the main hall of the herbal pavilion. It turned out today was the general meeting of the herbal pavilion, and all disciples were required to attend. On the high platform sat Lingming and Zhang Xihua side by side. Zhang Xihua said, "The Foundation Establishment Conference is approaching, and your herbal